Oh God! So I found a snake in my fucking house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was awful.
What kind of snake?
A little one.
Oh, well, let's be honest. When you find a snake in your house, the size of it is the least of your concerns.
Right. It was still as wiggly as you can imagine. I didn't want to kill it though. Didn't have the heart to kill a snake.
Well, but do you know what kind of snake it was? Like, was it just a
It was just a little garter snake or something. I don't know.
a
So I went
garter
ahead-
snake?
A garden snake? I don't know what it's actually
I
called.
believe they're garden snakes.
Garden-
A garter snake
garter
would be what you
snake?
wear when you have a chastity belt.
Yeah, one time I caught a garter snake at a wedding. Bit me 10 times.
Yeah, I believe it's garden, as in they live in the garden.
So this garden snake was just hanging out in the living room, and now it's gone. I like I said, did not have the heart to kill it.
No, that's good, and especially if it's not poisonous or dangerous or anything, it's good to not kill it. How did you get it out of the house?
With a dustpan and with a what?
A lot of girly screaming.
Yeah, dustpan in the room. There was I'm not gonna lie, there was a little bit of screaming.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
it is a snake, so I do not think less of you.
Yeah,
No,
you're
that's
not,
fine.
you're not a mongoose, man. You didn't go all Ricky Tikki Tavi on it. Or Ricky Tikki Tavi.
Like I was thinking about this. It's sort of like spiders, where it's better to have it like around, just not in the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have the natural, I think they eat bugs or something that harm your plants and whatnot. So, kind of the same deal.
Oh my God! I did one of the best things in the new Destiny regime.
What'd you do?
I skipped a cutscene.
Oh, wow. I wish I'd known you could do that.
It was fucking
You
glorious.
couldn't before. You
You
could
couldn't
not.
before.
Oh.
You were unable to.
Well, that cutscene was kind of long. I was trying to pop in and play a little bit, and got an earful of the new ghost, who, I don't know, is kind of psychic now.
So here's my. You know what? Let's start the show and then we can talk about this more. Hi, I'm Jonathan.
Hi, I'm Jack.
And I'm Lauren.
And we are Glib Shark. Tonight, a look back at Kate and Allie. Who would win in a knife fight? But first, as always, we have the lovely, the talented, the amazing Obo Crazy, here to do a little something we call This Week in Geek. How are you, Obo?
I've got coffee. Let's go with the coffee. So I have a couple of stories that are feeling good about yourself. Let's put it that way. Back in 2013, a few friends got together. They attached a GoPro to a weather balloon. They came up with their own control system for it and let it fly. The idea was to let it climb above the Grand Canyon and take beautiful video and hopefully even get up into the stratosphere. And 87 minutes later, after amazing footage and a successful flight, the camera fell back down to Earth about 50 miles away from the launch site, and they never found it. Yeah, so the team had done a whole trajectory model, which was actually really accurate about where the camera would come down. However, what they didn't know was that where they plotted the camera to fall, where it actually did, they had inaccurate cell phone data. And the coverage for that was actually a dead zone. So this camera falls and lands in a place where the cell phone that was attached to the GoPro couldn't ping a GPS location. They can't find the camera. Whoops. And that would have been the end of the story. Except a few weeks ago, a hiker ran across the camera in the desert and was nice enough to turn it in to the cell phone company, who were nice enough, instead of just saying, screw this, actually tracked down the SIM card the guys used who launched it and got it back to them. And now there's actual awesome video footage of these amateur videographer space people sending up a camera into essentially low Earth orbit and getting themselves some absolutely fantastic footage. So definitely check it out. If you just kind of Google this just happened on Monday. So if you Google search for this, you'll find it. I found it on Popular Science. It's really gorgeous footage. It is spectacular what they were able to get with basically just some gumption and a really nice weather balloon. So definitely go take a look. Now, if you would rather send yourself very close to the stratosphere, you can do that. And you can do that in a Boeing plane that looks like R2D2. That's right. On Saturday, Boeing opened the hangar doors at its wide body assembly faculty in Everett, Washington, which just happens to be a stone's throw from where I live, and rolled out the Star Wars Edition 787 Dreamliner. Its Superjets sport a shiny new R2D2 paint scheme. The blue and white jet was paraded in front of a whole ceremonial crowd, well, including stormtroopers as well. They were actually three of them ordered by Japanese carrier All Nippon Airways. This R2D2 one actually is one of three. The other two are sporting some of the BB-8 droid that's on there. So all three of them are actually headed to their maiden run, which is going to be leaving from Tokyo's Haneda Airport and going to Vancouver, Canada. So if you'd actually like to fly the R2D2 skies, you're going to have to take a trip from Canada to Japan. Oh, darn. Someone want to lend me a couple $1,000s? I think I need to make a trip. Finally, in a really kind of geeky but interesting article, Matt Novak on Pale of Future, which I actually found through IO9, was able to obtain every single movie that Jimmy Carter watched while at the White House. Now, everybody knows that Ronald Reagan was an actor before he became president and that he was a bit of a movie junkie. There is also a private movie theater in the White House because it's not like the president can just go on down to the local Regal and watch a movie. So Mr. Novak has been actually compiling lists of all the movies that presidents have watched, and everyone had assumed that Ronald Reagan was the king of seeing all these movies. Jimmy Carter actually watched more movies than Reagan while in office, and Carter only served one term.
That might be why.
Yeah. It's actually pretty amazing. And when you take a look at the list, the movies that he liked to watch are varied and wide. It's amazing. He watched War Games in 1983. He watched The China Syndrome. He had an early private White House screening of Apocalypse Now with director Francis Ford Coppola and about 75 other people in May of 1979. Even though the movie didn't get released in theaters until August. He'd watched goofy comedies like Animal House, Airplane, Caddyshack, and Meatballs. He watched a bunch of westerns like Shane and A Fistful of Dollars. He watched pretty much every Humphrey Bogart movie on the planet. He even watched a whole bunch of the Star Wars movies. One of the more interesting screenings is Carter watched Star Wars with Anwar Sadat, who was the president of Egypt on February 4th, 1978, at Camp David. So that was when they were all there in the secret strategy peace sessions for the peace accords in the Middle East that became known as the Camp David Accords. So apparently, whether it was a break from the high tension negotiations or part of the actual strategy, they all took a break to watch Star Wars in the middle of it. He watched Alien, he watched Avalanche Express, The Formula, The Cat from Outer Space. I mean, Jimmy Carter kind of watched everything, including Midnight Cowboy, the first X-rated movie to be screened at the White House. Definitely look this up. The list is amazing. The stuff that he consumed is it puts me to shame. It puts anyone I know to shame, and is just a great list, and maybe gives you a little bit of insight into, what does a president do in their off time? What does a president do to keep up with popular culture? What does a president do when you've got your own private movie theater in your house? That's all for This Week in Geek. I'm Oboe Crazy, and I'm an oboist. I would win in a night fight.
Well, there you go. Kate, Allie, sorry I had to hear it this way. You've made it all this way from the 1980s for nothing. I
sharpen my own knives, and they're specialty knives. I'm winning a knife fight.
Sorry, Susan St. James. But the world is indeed a strange place, and if you have a fact that you want read live and on the air, you can send it to Lauren at obocrazy.com, and she will read it. And while you're at it, go to glibshark.com full of episodes of the Buttcast, of Glib Shark, of classic Jenga Jam, and some other stuff, and like Destiny streams, for instance. Speaking of Destiny, Taken King!
No, wait, of the
Yes,
three
I
of us,
should have taken the day off.
of the three of us, it sounds like Roadblock is the only one who actually has this.
Well, I have it too.
Oh, you do have it?
I played
Oh,
for a few hours before the show started.
okay.
But the
I
thing is, with me, I actually bought like the other DLCs I haven't played yet. I skipped right to Taken King, so I'm a little bit lost. But I guess I'll catch up after the fact.
I have unfortunately yet to buy it because I am poor. However, we've got a wedding coming up, and I'm registered at Amazon. If anybody wants to buy me some Microsoft points,
And
Although in
Wait,
fairness,
are Microsoft points still a thing?
yeah, I mean it's essentially you buy a $25 gift card is essentially what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the exact same thing. It's dollar for dollar instead of dollar for points. And in fairness, right now what I'm saving up for is I want to play Halo 5, which comes out soon, and Luke really wants to play the latest King's Quest game. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the Taken King.
Well, okay. I'll keep that in mind. Anyway, so I have been playing through the Taken King. I haven't actually gotten that far in the missions. My hunter is level 40. I have unlocked the Night Stalker, which is the new subclass. And so now I am actually going through the mission. And what you are seeing on the stream is the third mission, the Dreadnought. If we get enough negative feedback, I don't think we'll get any feedback, but if we get enough negative feedback, I can stop the stream for spoilers. But honestly, I don't think anyone's really watching. So, and a lot of our listeners just listen to this audio-wise. So, yeah, I think we'll be all right.
And in fairness, while I have heard that the story is delivered much better in the Taken King than it was in the main game, I think in general, when most people think of Destiny, the actual story is not the pinnacle they hold up as the good thing about the game. So I don't think anyone will mind. Also, you can't hear any audio, so all you can hear is us. So
Yes.
Actually, I should just take the place of Nolan North and Dinklebot, and I should now be Ghost.
So here is my take on New Ghost.
Go for it.
I love the little intro that he does at the beginning of the Taken King, where he's like, "I looked for you for a very long time. I found you in the Conjuredrome, not the first place I looked. I thought I would never find you, and then I did." And I loved that little intro, and I thought that was really cool. But I was actually playing with the son of our good friend Martha Marin, and I asked him what he thought of the new Ghost, and he was not a fan.
I can see that because I think what he's used to, he's latched on to the Dinklage doing it. And to be honest, I found that whole intro thing a little Halo 3. You know why I picked you, John? Because you were lucky. That's how it felt like to me a little bit. But everything came after that. I'm not that far in yet. I'm just enjoying the Clyde 9 stuff. Or Clyde 6, Clyde 9, whatever Nathan Fillion robot it is. But that stuff is pretty awesome for me, and I'm enjoying it. And I feel like its story is engaging in a way that it wasn't for me playing through the regular campaign. Now, bear in mind, I haven't played through the Coda stuff or House of Wolves.
How are you? House of Wolves was kind of the turning point in Destiny storytelling. Like, it told a very compelling story, and you got some Awoken bits, you got some Wolves bits. And you get other bits from races that I won't get into because of House of Wolves spoilers. I wouldn't want to spoil one of the coolest missions in the entire game.
Yeah, please don't. But I will say that I am enjoying the new antagonist, and I'm looking forward to jumping in there and doing a little more. I've actually played in Destiny since my wife moved back here, so it's my first time playing in about 2 weeks.
But yes, so far the Taken King is very cool. It is tough to find blue armor that's better than your raid gear from days of past. That is hard for me personally. But I tend to get attached to things, and I think it's fine in video games. I mean, it is just stuff in video games, and we're gonna find new stuff. I think the theme that you need to take is there are new adventures coming, and That's what's important, not the past.
And as much as I totally get that's tough, because I would certainly find that tough, especially with how hard we all worked for some of that raid gear. That's an MMO. That's the MMO roots of Destiny shining through. A new patch comes out, a new section comes out. They up the level cap, and that's what happens. Is we already saw it once with Crota, and everybody was, well, why do I even want stuff from the first raid when now the stuff from the second raid is even better? So it's not really a surprise.
No, absolutely not. And as I said, it's just I was hoping that the Fatebringer would be my gun for my career in Destiny, but obviously it's not. And that sniff was like not a sadness sniff. That was just that was nasal issues, is what that was.
Well, that's interesting, but it also makes sense because the highest you could get in the main game before the Taken King was 33, and so even blue stuff that's going to drop at 39 would logically be more powerful than that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm already at 34. Yay!
Well, and one thing that we have to note is that light level has truly been divorced from character level. I got to character level 40 very quickly because I'd saved up a bunch of bounties. And my plan was to, as soon as I got my new subclass, I just dump all the bounty experience into that subclass. And not only did it get me to almost max level almost immediately, it got a good portion of XP into the subclass, which is nice.
And what do you think of the new subclasses?
So far, I've only played the Night Stalker, and it's cool. I don't have everything unlocked, so it's not quite that powerful. But supposedly, when you get the 3 shadow shots or whatever it is, it gets to be a lot better. I think it's neat that the way you acquire the power is kind of cool. So I won't spoil that quest line, but it is a lot of fun.
And I do appreciate that. For those of us, when I played, I only ever played a warlock. I was not interested in getting the other 2 characters, but that was always one of the sucky things, is I'm stuck with 2 of the 3 powers, essentially. And so now with all 3 of the characters getting the 3rd power as their subclass, now if you are someone who just has the one character, you can go on missions and raids that have a weakness of any of you could do solar damage, you could do arc damage, you could do pretty much all the damage you need.
Yeah, and now with the extra areas or with the extra subclasses, it's very you do have that opportunity to do what you need to do. Like before, it was very hard for hunters to do the thorn bounty because they did no innate void damage. A lot of characters could get by using grenades or melee, or even supers in the case of warlocks. Hunters couldn't do that at all, and now they are on the same elemental damage level as everyone else. So I think what we're going to see is we have come to a middle of Destiny 1, as it were. And it'll be very interesting to see what happens with Destiny 2 if we keep the same classes. I think we will, or if there'll be something else. I'm very interested to see if this is it. I don't think it is. I think there will be other opportunities for the characters to grow. I just don't know what that will be.
Well, if they continue to follow an MMO model, it would not surprise me if they started introducing more than just the 3 different hunters. If it was, if now in Destiny 2 there were completely different ones with completely different subclasses, because MMOs are like Pokemon. You got to catch them all.
Gotta catch 'em all, Pokemon.
Yeah, for the moment though, I am sticking to my normal trifecta of Halo and Evolve, and I've been doing a little bit of Neverwinter, which I've been playing kind of as a single player thing, even though that is a real MMO. And you're just waiting for Halo 5. I'm excited about Halo 5.
Yeah, I can't wait for Halo 5 either. It's going to be really cool.
When does Halo 5 come out again? Like November?
October something.
Oh, that's soon. Wow.
Yeah, it's like October 25th. It's super soon. It is super really soon, and I am excited.
Man, 2 video game purchases like in a row because I had to buy like all the packs at once. I couldn't find like the $60 deal on the Xbox store, so I had to spend $80 on everything, which kind of sucks.
Oh.
But $20 extra, I mean, it's okay. It's one less pizza this week.
Yeah,
I
it's
act-
October 27th is the drop date.
Oh, and then I have enough time to for my wallet to heal, I think.
Yeah, I picked up the digital collector something edition last night.
I am waiting to see what happens after we're married. I guess I'll put it that way.
Wink, wink,
Wink.
nudge, nudge, and so on and so forth.
Okay, was there anything
I'm
else?
making an OK symbol with one hand and sticking my finger through the O with the other.
Well, then that's very appropriate.
Ah.
Was there anything else we want to talk about with the Taken King, or can I talk about something completely different?
Let's talk about something completely different.
Oh my God, I have a crock pot.
Yay!
Okay, I've never had a crock pot. I suddenly have a crock pot. I made chili yesterday. It's okay chili. I think it did okay. So, what are your favorite crock pot recipes?
Wow. So here's the thing. I've never owned a Crockpot before, so I don't have any recipes for you. I do make a variant of a chili that from our dear friend Darnclem
Ooh,
that I think would lend itself very well to the Crockpot. I could link you to that journal after the show.
that would be awesome. What, like, give us the short. What's the variant? What makes it awesome?
Well, a little thing called Satan's Blood, although I've substituted that for shredded ghost peppers, and I find that gives a lot of heat to it too. I use a whole lot of. There's a combination of beef and breakfast sausage, and he puts a lot of stuff in there. Brown sugar, as opposed to the white granulated stuff. I think the brown sugar works better for the purposes of the chili. So it ends up being very sweet, very buttery, but also has a decent kick to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For my first attempt, I got a McCormick spice package, which sadly they did not have any of the super spicy. The grocery store only had just the regular, and I pretty much stuck to the recipe on the back of that just for safety's sake. But Satan's blood and ghost pepper chilies are always something I'm interested in playing with. How about you, Roblox? You got a favorite crock pot recipe?
Really, all I do with my crock pot is I do just butt roasts and stuff. I know our friend,
butts.
yeah, oh God, there is nothing like coming home to the smell of a crock pot that has meat in it that has been cooked to perfection. Our good friend Fireball also does like whole chickens. Like she'll do like 2 or 3 whole chickens and just do that. I think she uses a brine with those.
Okay.
And I know our good friend Izzy, who is a recent homeowner, was looking at a Wi-Fi crock pot, and I'm like, I will contribute to the fund for a Wi-Fi crock pot. It sounds cool.
What is it? Like what's the Wi-Fi part of it?
Well, you can. I think there's an app you can connect to on your phone, and then you can say, you know what? I think you're done. Go to low heat.
Oh, okay.
So instead of a time, I think she opted for a timer one instead, which is one I don't have. But it is. I would have helped fund the Wi-Fi crockpot just for the lulz.
Just everybody could just constantly log into her crockpot.
Well, I would imagine there's some like you would need to be on like her wireless network or something, or have a VPN or something like that.
I see Twitch plays crockpot.
Oh God.
I think that'd be funny.
Oh man, live streaming our crockpot cooking around the clock coverage.
Listen, why not? I've seen Stranger on YouTube. Who else? Why not? Especially if it's one of those giant crockpots.
If we can live stream anything, I kind of want to live stream me finally making that gigantic cake, where it's a recreation of the Battle of Antietam, where the gummy bears are playing Union soldiers.
That is going to get mentioned every week, isn't it?
That hasn't been every week. I think I took a couple of weeks off for almost a year off, where I didn't mention it at all.
But it's been the last 3 weeks or so.
It's been on my mind lately. Let me put it this way, and especially now that I have someone that can help me out.
Look, they get it done.
Just
stop
put up or
torturing
shut up.
us and get it done. Yes,
And
exactly.
don't just get it done. Videotape the entire process. Put it up on the Glib Shark YouTube so that we can all watch.
If you're interested in helping me build this and you think you'll be in the Philadelphia area, say around summer of next year, send me a message or just tweet us at GlibShark or me individually at Jack Edithville.
Next year, we have to wait that long? You have to
Well,
talk about this that long?
I got to build up for it. You know, it's been years I've been talking about this. I think since my 30th birthday I've been talking about this.
Yes, that's why we were like, get it done. We didn't realize get it done meant sometime next summer.
Well, I mean, the weather's gonna get bad really soon, so if I want to do it, if I were going to do like a public thing, it'd have to be like October. After that, things get busy. Let me put it that
Ah,
way.
why not in the middle of winter? Everybody's scared of snow. Everyone's scared of bad weather. Who cares?
That's
Just
true.
go. Just enjoy,
Says the
go
girl
bake.
from Buffalo who's like immune to snow.
Oh, no. I'm not immune to snow. Trust me. It sucks. Buffalo just knows how to deal with snow. That there's a difference.
Having
I
married a woman who spent like the most of her adult life in Buffalo, I guess that's two people who are used
There
to
you
it.
go.
Yeah.
She will tell you the exact same thing. It's not that we're immune. We just have the correct accoutrement to deal with it. But that doesn't make it any less sucky when it's there.
Fair enough. All right. Well, maybe this happens sooner. If you're interested in
Yeah.
helping out, just shoot me a message.
Bake a cake and then make a snowman.
Pretty
I want to
much.
see this happen.
Bake
A day in the life of a day in the life of Jenga ship, cakes and
Do
snowmen.
you want to bake a snowman? Come
I
on, let's
actually
bake a snow.
did reach out to our friend Martha Marin a while ago about how to go about this because she knows a thing or two about audacious cakes. Is audacious a word?
Yes,
Yeah,
it
Audacious is
is.
totally a word. Audacious
Audacious.
is one of my favorite words.
or rad audacious cake. And she gave me some tips about how to go about it, and I still have the message saved here somewhere. But I
Good.
think I'm gonna apply this into principles. So I kind of want to do some studying up on it and maybe watch some Civil War documentaries and take a look at some paintings and try and recreate something as much as possible. Because there's one specific painting I'm looking to recapture in a 3D format. So I'm gonna try and stay as true to that as possible.
Which painting?
Ah, gosh, it's the one that probably comes. I forget what it's called, but it's the one that's most associated with the battle. Let me see if I can figure out what the title of it is. Images.
All I associate with that battle is the Ken Burns documentary series music, like that old timey violin that plays. That's what I associate with all that.
Eh, I think there's a lot of people of our generation that anything that comes from the Civil War must have Ken Burns' name attached to it.
And violin and old timey violin music. That is very true.
And now I just hear Bob Ball in my head reading off a letter, to my sweet Abigail. It has been 4 days since I've been in this war, and already I'm about to die. It's just,
Wow. So accurate.
I know, right? All right, so send us crockpot recipes and suggestions for Ken Burns documentary painting or battle scenes
Yeah, okay,
at Glibshark.
Surprise baking episode.
So here's something I wanted to bring up, and it was actually called out in the description of the last episode. I don't know what it is, but you say documentary really weird. I think it's because you say the T. And I say
Documentary?
Yeah, documentary is how you say it.
You mean like you're documenting the story of a guy named Terry? Or
Yeah,
girl?
exactly.
Or
And-
that you are documenting something.
Yes, most of the time when I say the word, I just say documentary. So
Okay.
so none of that gets pronounced. I don't know. IDK weird.
Let's see. How do I say it? Documentary? Yeah, that's pretty much the same.
Yeah, once you point it out, now none of us can say it correctly.
Actually,
now we're
except
all going to be very
I'm from
self-conscious.
Philly, so any NT becomes any. It's like a documentary.
Oh, okay.
Rhymes with
Hold on.
Henry.
I'll get an impartial view on this. Hey, Luke,
Here we go.
say documentary. Oh, he uses the T too. All right. Maybe it's a Canada thing. I don't know.
Perhaps. How do
Django,
you
you're
pronounce?
gonna have to ask your lovely wife, your lovely from Buffalo wife, see if we pronounce it together. Maybe it's a 49th parallel thing.
Well, the thing is, she grew up she spent like 7 years in India, and then she spent most of the rest of her childhood in New Jersey, and then I think she picked up a little bit of an accent in Buffalo. That's how she says
Accent?
accent. Like she's a little Midwestern. She got a little Midwestern twang now, and she's a Bills fan, which
It's so sad.
It should be interesting when they come to Philadelphia in December because we're trying to go to that game. And
Oh,
we watched some footballs, and it was sad
oh.
because Chip put a team together, but they didn't do the thing that they're supposed to do, which is to
Yeah,
say win.
I did hear that they lost.
They did. It was a close loss, and I'm pretty, sometimes I'm sad that I don't talk to Maddie and Mikey as much as I used to, but this is a day I definitely don't feel quite as bad about it.
I have not watched any football in a very long time. I will continue to root for the Seahawks like I always do,
Sure.
which is as a fan of my new hometown. Otherwise, what do I know? Although I do hear that the Sports Ball, is it a podcast or is it an actual show that Rooster Teeth puts on? I heard that. That's excellent.
It's both, yes.
So
Okay.
they do a podcast, and they actually stream the show live. Who's
There
on
you
it?
go.
So it's Jack and who else?
Other
It's
people.
Jack, it is Joel. So far, it's been Jack, Joel, and the host is someone named Tyler Coe,
I don't know
who
who that is.
see, yeah, he's newish. I don't remember what he does specifically, but he's a huge sports fan and he's a broadcast guy.
Okay.
So he has like the perfect voice for sports radio. It's got a super deep tenor to it. It's just it's lovely. I'll just say it. It's a lovely voice.
I may have to go listen to the podcast for a little while just to hear that voice.
Yeah, and it's interesting that Joel's on there. I always imagined that Joel would eventually do some sort of like financial report on Rooster Teeth, like listening about, like I read, his Facebook posts or whatever. All he's doing is talking about the world markets and all the craziness, and why maybe I have to work another couple extra years to make up for what the stock market lost. But I always thought it'd be cool to hear him talk about financial stuff. But I guess I can handle sports coming out of Joel.
Well, Joel is like super into sports. Like ever
Yeah.
since I've known him, he's been a gigantic Longhorns fan, and he just I know whenever Joel and I get together, the talk is always starts off with, "Hey, fuck you and your Sooners." Well, hey, fuck you and your Longhorns, and then we start the actual conversation.
We have a Sooner quarterback now.
It was funny. Like, they were talking about how all of our quarterbacks these last few years, like all of our star players, come from Austin. And they were like super, super shitty about that, basically.
It's also very possible that the only reason he hasn't had some kind of financial podcast is because he's the only person at Rooster Teeth with the interest and or knowledge to talk about that. Podcasts, especially from the Rooster Teeth people, tend to do well, or they tend to enjoy it the most when there's multiple people on to talk to each other. And if he's the only one so far, maybe they just need to hire some more people.
Joel, listen, a financial professional here, work for a major institution, can talk intelligently about bank regulations and world markets. I'm here for you, buddy, if you wanted to do going on a financial reports podcast.
Yes, they should quickly take over everything that NPR is in the middle of so that they can best NPR at their own game.
Planet Money, why stop there? We're local cluster money.
I don't know what that means.
Well, the local cluster is the
don't know
group.
what that means.
The
No,
local
it's the-
cluster is the group that the Milky Way is in.
No, it's local group.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just local group.
I like local cluster better.
Well, it's wrong.
But you are
so,
not
okay.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, so you can't say so. God, can we have Neil deGrasse Tyson on one of these days?
I'm sure if we had the means, we would try.
Okay,
Well,
if we can
originally
get
the
him,
means was send them an email, be like, "Hey, you want to be on our podcast?"
yeah, or if not him, can we eventually have? Was it Key or Peele that was playing him on their show? Did you guys ever?
I don't remember which one is which.
Okay, well, one of the two of them did a fairly fantastic Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I would imagine. I actually don't know. I haven't seen their spoofing. Yeah. It's funny that Key and Peele are only now like sort of winding up their fifth season, and they're ending after this season. But they've been on longer than Chappelle's Show. But I think I made this comparison somewhere else that Key and Peele are kind of like the Foo Fighters, and
Yeah,
Chappelle's Show is like Nirvana.
Yeah, you made that comparison a couple weeks ago.
I did. Okay.
Yes.
Just making sure. Just so we're clear on that. So
If
what does that
everyone's
make?
clear.
What does that make another period then? They're like, I think they're the Darkness. They're like that anachronistic show that still kind of works.
Well, then
It has been-
in Living Color would probably be like
Living
the
color?
Stones in
Oh,
that
they
comparison.
can't be living color because they're not metal enough.
No, they're well, and Living Color really didn't do that much. They had one song and that was it.
The
And then
old-
they could be in
They
living
didn't
color with
spawn like all of the Wayans brothers.
yeah.
that's true. In Living Color was the ship that launched 1,000 Wayans and Jim Carrey and somebody else. Oh, and Jamie Foxx
Yep.
and Jennifer Lopez.
Yep.
Yep.
Do you
Yep.
remember? How old am I? I remember when Sean Wayans was known as DJ SW1.
I remember when Jim Carrey was James Carrey.
James Carrey and Fire Marshal Bill. Let me tell you something.
James Carrey. When is that going to end up on Netflix?
You know what I'm waiting for? Doing Time on Maple Drive, which was the serious movie that James Carrey did while on the cast of Living Color. It was like a Fox TV movie.
I don't think I've ever seen
Google it. It's a real thing. Doing Time on Maple Drive.
I love how Jenga's like, everybody, Google it. It's a real thing. In fact,
To Google,
screw you all.
1992.
I'm
So
going to
it's
Google it
it's from
myself.
23 years ago, where he was billed as oh gosh, Jim. Oh, he was billed as Jim Carrey in this one, but Lori Loughlin was in this. So Becky from Full House, and I guess soon to be Fuller House.
Listen, in a couple of months, there'll be the new X-Files on, and that will be my 90s revival, is watching the couple of episodes of that.
I'm excited because I did watch the tail end of X-Files. I did watch the movie. Yeah. But I heard they
Yeah,
cast
but-
Joel McHale as sort of a conservative Glenn Beck style commentator. So that'll be interesting to see.
Oh, I
How
hadn't
he plays
heard
that.
about that. I had heard that Mulder and Scully were going to start split up, which I don't know how I feel about that, but whatever. You know, I was never one of those people who was absolutely in the they must get together and be married and make babies camp, but we'll see.
Those people are crazy.
Well, those people got what they wanted.
What, really?
Yeah, Mulder and Scully ended up together at the end of the show.
Well, I know they were like physically together and they were cuddling, but I didn't realize that meant romance and banging.
Oh, well, one can only extrapolate and then watch this new series to see what has happened in the last 20 million years. But my understanding, and I think the movie the Fight the Future movie also confirmed that, yeah, they were together. I mean, they came back to the show to get the two characters back together, even though it had become the Doggart and Skinner show. God, here we go. Me being all X-File-y. I haven't
Yeah.
thought about X-Files in forever.
And just now I'm thinking about what would happen if Mulder and Scully went on a double date with Tony and Angela. That'd be great. I'm the only person who thinks that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just
that's okay.
sorry guys, I've been thinking about who's the boss a lot lately.
Why is that?
Well, I mean, aside from the obvious question, who is the boss? Just randomly happening upon the Wikipedia page. I think it was, you know how they do that "did you know" thing, and it leads to something, and then you click on something, it leads to something else, and you wiki surf, and before you know it, you're reading about Catherine. Oh, you know what it was? It was the Coach revival. So they're supposed to make a remake of Coach, but NBC didn't like the pilot, so they can't. They actually put a 13 episode order in for this new show. It was going to focus on Hayden Fox's son being a coach and Hayden Fox becoming on as an assistant, and then like clash against each other. And they did a
Coach
pilot.
2 Electric Boogaloo?
I guess so. They did a pilot. NBC didn't care for it. They canceled the entire order, which is a little disappointing because, and the reason I mention this is because Katherine Hellman, who played Mona, you know, the sexually promiscuous grandmother on Who's the Boss, probably the best character on that show. She played the owner of the NFL franchise in Orlando that owned the team that Hayden Fox coached in the last 2 seasons.
Aha.
Yeah, and that's
The depths of your knowledge of some of these TV shows continues to astound me.
the thing. The less important it is, the more likely it is that I know it.
This works for me as well. However, just the fact that your knowledge is so deep about something that I know practically nothing about, despite the fact that I lived in the same time frame and watched the same shows, boggles my mind.
But hey, you can read music. I mean, what can I do? I can post a picture of It's a Living to promote this show.
Well, you just talked about some of the financial stuff that you can do. I just had to read up on W-2 forms earlier today for reasons.
Well, I didn't really talk about what I can do. I just said, Joel, I know financial stuff. I didn't actually prove anything. So I may have to actually call him out on some stuff and being like, You know, it's not the end of the world if they raise rates at the end of the year. The world will not, the sky will not indeed fall.
No, the sky is going to fall because there's going to be a blood moon that is going to be several blood moons after confluences and confluences and asteroids. And the two pastors said it so everybody get into your bunker.
Also, Kim Davis signed off on, relented. So now that's the straw that broke God's back, and he's gonna end
Wait,
it
what
all.
happened with Kim Davis?
So
I
Kim
didn't hear about-
Davis basically is not made a deal where they took her name off of the name of her and the name of her office off of every license coming out of the thing, right? And then basically her deputies have the authority to sign, but it's going to say instead of where her name is, it says by federal order. So she doesn't actually believe that they carry legal weight, but basically any
Who
lawyer,
cares what she believes?
right? But actual lawyers who know what they're doing say that it has the full weight of law because their marriage license is issued by the state of Commonwealth of Kentucky. I'm sorry, they're a Commonwealth. And
Okay.
so yeah, a happy ending, kind of, sort of, and the voters can kick her out. And it's funny because she's actually based around Moorhead, and that's where our good friend Spam Man, Chris, Ale8
Spam.
enthusiast, spams from that area of Kentucky. So I haven't had a chance to pick his brain about it lately because I haven't seen him in a little bit, but I'm sure he's rolling his eyes and talking about what a dummy she is. I mean, and I love the whole like social media reaction where they posted all these pictures about people who believe things but do their job anyway.
Yeah.
My favorite was the Freddie Mercury one.
Oh, what was his one? I missed that one.
It was did not actually like fat bottom girls, did his job anyway.
I like that one. I hadn't seen
Yeah,
that one.
I like that one too. That one was pretty great.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, there was one. I forget which one it is. I bring it up, of course, I don't have any concrete examples. You see. Cite your sources, Jenga. But just overall, like the reaction on social media, that's one of the better ones. I feel like they're better when they use humor when than when it's this sort of outrage echo chamber, which kind of happens. It's kind of dangerous, like being on the internet and having a certain group, and then before you know it, you don't hear any opinions that are different from yours. You're kind of like curating your feed to the point where anything that sort of upsets you or makes you angry or you disagree with, you sort of whittle it away. I'm trying to be more open-minded, make sure that I'm open to different views, as long as people can intelligently defend them and say something to it. I mean, I have friends that I don't agree with politically, but if they can make an argument for it and not be all, ignorant and stupid about it, I can entertain that without accepting it necessarily.
Yeah, there's a big difference between having a difference of opinion over what you think is the right course of action, or a difference of opinion on, all right, here's a fact. What should we do about these facts? And, just pure ideological idiocy, because it's the same. It's the same thing as Neil deGrasse Tyson. Going back to him, had just posted that tweet a little while ago that's been circulating about how denying the truth of fact doesn't make that not a fact anymore. It means that your belief is a delusion, and it's all well and good for someone to say that about something abstract or something that you can't actually point to. But imagine if those same people are just like, I don't believe this door is there, and they're just continuing to run into it because they don't believe in a door.
Right. I mean,
Facts are facts, people. And
yeah.
Kim Davis is, guess what? This is your job. You have to do your job. You can believe whatever you want.
But you don't have your beliefs don't entitle you to federal work. They put it that way, or government work.
Or they do, just not in this capacity.
Well, no,
you
I
know?
mean, what I mean is, like, if you have a belief that conflicts with your job, don't you think you ought to choose your faith over your job?
Listen, every single day I have to go to the theater and I have to deal with customers who I believe should be shown the door. And I still have to deal with them on a regular basis, despite what my belief about their intelligence level is. Or, when we put on a show that has gay people in it and we get people calling to complain about how we're not family friendly because we're gay. No. My personal belief is that when those people say, I'm never returning to your theater again, that my reaction should be, great, we don't want you because you're homophobic. But I managed to at least not say that in quite that way because, you know what? I have a job to do. My job is to be nice to these people and to try to get them to stay at the theater. So, everyone has to do shit.
Yeah. Well, on the bottom line, the people of Kentucky are no longer being blocked. I mean, that part of Kentucky are no longer being blocked from getting married. Both, and to keep in mind is she wasn't just blocking gay couples; she wasn't issuing any marriage licenses. So, I mean, one is bad enough, but when you're not doing your job at all and you're getting money on the dime of the taxpayers of Kentucky, that's not cool. But
Yeah, I
anyway,
love that she was able to just not do her job and not get fired. If I don't know about you guys, but if I went to go play in an orchestra and I'm like, my personal beliefs are that I shouldn't play this piece of music. I shouldn't have to play the Messiah because I don't believe in these Christian ideals, and I wasn't going to play the oboe, they would fire me and find another
well, I
oboist.
mean, at the very least, you can have an argument like, "You guys, Messiah, it's a little premature. He hasn't come yet."
Wow.
So, too soon? No, too
No,
late.
not soon enough.
Agree to disagree. He's here. But yeah, like, and this is the kind of thing I kind of want to explore, and like, if I do like a sort of political spin-off or something of the show.
Just do it.
All right.
Just do it. Just set a time, find some guests, and do it.
Be Nike.
What's the next topic on the list of ideas that Jenga has, and whether she should do or not? Actually, no. Roblox, you made me a really good flowchart. Do I have an idea? Yes. Should I do it? Yes.
Yes.
It's pretty much all the flowchart I need.
What?
I thought it was even simpler than that.
I
I
have an
thought,
addendum. Why
okay.
aren't you doing it, you moron?
Ouch, that's kind of harsh.
Why don't then do it?
Well,
I'm
next
serious,
week,
Jack. I'm serious. Just do it. Like
yeah.
absolutely 100%. Just take your idea and run with it.
Okay.
You have
Kind
the
of like
means.
we're doing next week, where next week is not your normal episode of Glib Shark. We're playing D&D.
Can I do the special, like, CBS special noise, or no?
Sure.
Bump, buck, bump, 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 bump.
Yeah, so as we talked about last week, next week will not be a live episode of Glib Shark. You are going to be treated to episode 1 of Dungeons and Dragons and Drunks. And then from there, it will still come out on a regular enough basis, but will be a supplemental thing. It won't take over our normal Tuesday night slot. And it's something that, yeah, we enjoyed doing it, and we all thought about we should keep doing it. And Roblox made his Nike point of just do it, and we did it. And it's fun. I've been audio editing the shit out of it, and as much as that's annoying, I am pretty happy with what we've got so far. The first episode does include some audio issues on Jenga's feed, so
Sorry, guys.
it's a little wonky, but the second episode is going to fix that, and it certainly doesn't ruin the first episode by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, that's a relief, and I'm really excited to hear it, and I'm excited to listen to it while I'm talking to the crowd listening on the live stream. So be sure to come out for that one. That's the one you're going to want to be here for, a Tuesday at 10 p.m.
Yep, Tuesday at 10. In fact, I've got to get that to Roblox. I was going to upload it tonight, actually. I just kind of finished up some last little bits of fun. It's our first episode is, I believe it's just over an hour. And then I'm going to attempt to keep future episodes around the hour mark. They're definitely going to be at the whim of what actually happens in the game. But I've had a lot of experience in my home game where we have between 2 and 3 hours to play and often end earlier. But we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, it looks like it's an hour and 6 minutes, so it'll fit pretty nicely, if I do say so myself. And you all get to hear me do horrible accents.
Actually, you did a really good job with those. You kind of created this world with just sort of, your voice and with the uniqueness of cadence and things like that. And I felt the world that you crafted, I'm really fascinated to do more in there. There seems to be already recurring motifs and social themes and just a little bit of allegory in there. Not so much so it's preachy, but enough that there's a bit of a reflection of the real world. And I kind of appreciate that kind of thing in a campaign.
Well, and it wasn't just me. I mean, D&D is a story told by the many. So if you guys hadn't been there to help out, it would have been really weird. But, we'll keep trying. We'll have some fun. I'm hoping to keep it at least, if not light, then at least fun and have moments of levity in between. We are about to die because this green dragon is about to kill us. Ooh, did I spoil something?
Maybe.
Level
Let-
1 green dragon fight, go!
Well, I mean, we have been in some dark, deep spaces. What we haven't seen so far, spoiler warning, are the second part of that word. But that could change. I mean, what is Dungeons and Dragons without a dragon? Or at least a dragonborn.
Yeah, that's okay. But Jules, Jules as a gnome is pretty awesome. So
She is so adorbs. Totes adorbs. Climbing on things, going to bars and asking for stools.
climbing on people.
Climbing on people.
So yeah, so people are going to be able to listen to that live next week. I'm not going to be around for the whole thing because I have to work until 7. So what I'll try to do is listen on in and pop in into the chat.
Okay.
But anyone who is listening to the episode will hear plenty of me because I'm the DM. I do a lot of talking.
And this is an idea I kind of wish I'd play with more. Like, you know how
Do
lore
it!
spreads
Just
out.
do it!
Oh,
do
God.
it! Sorry. I had to be roadblock for a second.
Yeah, no, just the idea of exploring the ramifications of my character having been turned into a potted plant and how that affects his psyche. And I've been going into that a little bit. But what I kind of want to do, what I want to do more is you're going to see how people are reacting to him, having heard the story of this guy who drank. What's the name of the guy? Sorcerer's Sweat. Having drank the Sorcerer's Sweat last and being turned into a potted plant. And like, is he like a viral video guy now? Is he like Kim Kardashian? What is it doing to his perception around the world?
Well, it definitely depends on who you're talking to. Like anything that is weird and told in story form, I think some people are going to hear about the story and go like, "Oh yeah, I had a cousin who drank some Sorcerer's Sweat and got turned into a potted plant. I know how that goes. That's not so weird." And other people are going to go, "What the hell are you talking about?"
It's like, this guy's on high. He's high on the drugs or something. But
Or on the Sorcerer's Sweat.
another cool thing is being able to see characters brought to life by the inimitable Luke McKay. How did we get him?
Oh,
I don't know. It's a mystery. I'm again making the OK sign with one hand and sticking my finger through the O.
wait, hold on. Let me ask him. Hey, Luke, how did we ever end up with you? Yeah. Oh, I apparently lost a bet.
What if you'd won the bet? What would you have got?
I would have ended up with Jack Patillo
Uh,
because they get confused for each other all the time.
do they really? They don't look anything alike.
Yeah, well, one of these days we'll have. I think Luke's probably told us on the show before, but yeah, it's when he first started working for Rooster Teeth, he can tell some stories about him and Jack getting confused with each other all the time.
I guess all internet nerds look alike to these guys. I don't know.
Yeah, especially back when Luke is reminding me, it's back when Jack had a little tiny beard instead of the big, impressive, bushy one that he has now.
Ah, that's why.
Well, I mean, that's not. I would hope that beard similarity wouldn't be the sole reason that one person gets confused for another. But, you never know in the Rooster Teeth community.
You know who needs to come to RTX next year?
Jack Patillo?
Well, I would. No. This is completely out of left field. I don't know if it's the name of them, Jostins. I don't know if they do photography as well, or I'm thinking of somebody else. Jostins is class range, right?
Yeah.
But whoever does like the school photos that have like the laser background in the background and whatever, the ones from when we were kids.
They should have a photo session to like take RTX yearbook photos.
RTX, not just RTX yearbook photos, but ones with the laser background in the back, and the three of us could pose in sweaters, and
All
that
right.
could be the image for our show.
Let's make sure we chat with Raging Terror and see if
we
we
know,
can set that
yes,
up.
we know photographers. We know several talented photographers.
We've got one who is currently in our D&D group. We basically know almost all of the official photographers for RTX. I'm sure if we suggested it and if they found it funny, they could make a laser background happen.
Laser background.
Laser background. But then everybody's got to bring like cheesy sweaters and 80s hair.
I could do the 80s here. I'm gonna do like a whole flock of seagulls thing. I think grow my hair out.
It has
Wait,
been
hold on.
decades since I've had the hair for 80s hair.
Jenga, shut up about your hair. Just do it already.
Okay, well, you know what? If if we can't get it to happen over the entirety of RTX next year, maybe this is something that we do at our panel. Maybe we spend a couple minutes and there's a photo booth in the back and everybody take a yearbook picture.
There we go. Or we could just do a Glib Shark Lounge. Need a break from the panels? This is the one panel you can get into. No problem. Just take a break
Ooh.
from having panels. Like, nobody wants to have
Do
tough...
you remember? Do you remember that year at PAX where was it Rooster Teeth had partnered up with
Sumo?
Bungie?
No.
I don't. But they had basically a lounge area, and so you could go and sit and relax.
Oh, the Sumo Lounges. I remember they had that at PAX East the first couple of years.
Well, not the sumo lounge specifically, but like on the main show floor.
Oh, yeah, there was a
They,
whole bunch of beanbag chairs in front, right?
not just those. I'm talking about specifically at the booth. That like there was a place you could just go hang out. And I want to say it was the Rooster Teeth booth that had it, but I might be wrong.
I've never seen it.
2008. Lucas confirmed. 2008. Rooster Teeth had. Was that the
Oh.
year that they partnered up with Bungie? Okay, so yes, it was Bungie and Rooster Teeth had a booth together, and they had like a whole bunch of chairs and couches, basically in their booth. Because back in 2008, PAX was a little smaller, so they had the room, and so you could go and just hang out and sit, which was difficult to find at even nowadays. So we could just do that. We could restart the lounge tradition.
I'm good with that. The new lounge. The Glib Shark Lounge. With Glib Shark Lounge music. Glib
If you would like to suggest music to play at the Glib Shark Lounge, please tweet at us at
Maybe
Glib Shark.
I could be the Glib Large Lounge. Glib Large.
Glib Large.
Glib Large. That's my my Glib Shark Lounge singer.
Glib Large.
That's going to
And
be
then you're gonna have to dress
Actually,
like Bill Murray doing
No.
his lounge act.
Glib Large is actually my R&B singer name. When I'm
I like
doing
it.
covers of Drew Hill and an All for One.
Well, now I need to go and I need to look at old high school yearbook pictures because I'm nostalgic.
Just a ridiculous theme every year. This year is going to be either lounge themed or yearbook themed for our panel. We should just do something completely off the wall.
I don't see why we can't do both.
We can do both, yeah. Lounge and a high school yearbook kind of thing. Or we just sign people's yearbooks. It's just like, bring one in. Just order. We just do a print of like the history of the show and like do like yearbooks of past guests or whatever. And then like even as a pamphlet. And then just give it out to people. And people want to come bring it up to us, we'll sign it.
If you would like to donate towards the printing costs of those yearbooks, then tweet at us at Glibshark.
Yeah. It's like a company meeting. I am getting eaten alive by God knows what. Although I will say the weather has gotten much better here. It's finally settled down to something autumnal around these parts where it's been a heat wave and I can actually go outside and do stuff. So that's kind of fun.
Yesterday, I imbibed in my first pumpkin spice.
Nice. Then that's summer's really over.
Yep. Thank God for that. But yeah, I am a white girl. I had the pumpkin spice.
That's okay. This country is run by white girls, or increasingly, like the economy is being driven by white girls. So if you didn't buy pumpkin spice lattes, where would we be?
I would have a few more bucks in my pocket.
Well, but yeah, at what cost? Well, $2. But not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is like the economic engine, the political engine that's increasingly driving things is,
Pumpkin based?
well, yeah, pumpkin based. It's the pumpkin spice vote. Let put it that way, and that's why certain candidates for office are doomed because they're not going to get the pumpkin spice vote.
I will say, as much as I do love pumpkin spice and pumpkin spice lattes, there are some products that are starting to go a little too far. The other day, I saw Twinkies that were filled with pumpkin spice cream. And
That's weird.
Yeah, I thought so too. Like, they had a picture on the front of the box of one of those Twinkies broken open so you could see the cream on the inside. And seeing that orange cream was creepy. I am a traditionalist when it comes to my Twinkies.
Twinkie conservative.
Yeah, actually, yes. Yes, I am a Twinkie conservative. I want my ho-hos and I want my Twinkies, and I don't want them in weird colors.
The way God intended. Or the FSM, depending on what your views are.
So what are you guys doing this weekend?
Oh gosh,
Apparently eating Twinkies.
I am moving a dresser from my parents' house to our apartment. It's the last piece of furniture my wife needs before this place is complete. Too.
I'm working a ton and prepping for the next D&D game and doing maybe some dress shopping for Wedding Redacted. For Elopement Redacted, I guess I should say. Roadblock, what are you doing?
Yeah, it sounds like he's fishing for an answer here.
Well, of course I am. Well, I'm playing golf. I played last weekend, and it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to play again because I think I finally figured out some things in my swing. I'm going to be going and doing some gaming and having some dinner with my wife.
Oh, that's exciting.
Aw. Wife time. Yeah,
I'm also turning 38, so...
Yeah, we could sing happy birthday, but I know that
let's
would sound
not.
miserably. Well, one of us could sing.
Hey, it's your birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Please don't sue. But we are very happy to have you, and just I'm going to be so happy to present you that golden watch at retirement. It's not every day you turn 65.
Yep, please
I hate
enjoy
you
your
so much.
381st birthday.
So that actually got me thinking. How alien does your thought process need to be when you get over like 200 years old?
Well, I have a theory about that. That's inspired by the Brian Michael Bendis comic Powers, which is now a show on PlayStation Network. So I think that people have trouble remembering things after a certain amount of years, a certain amount of time, and that if people who live a very long time, they probably only remember the last, I'm going to say 60 years of their life or so, on average, right? So you would, once you're 361, you probably only remember the last 60 years. So anything before that is just gone or inaccessible. So that's my theory. I'm sticking with it.
That'd be horrific. I think
It's
if
amnesiac.
I had that, if I had that choice, I would not want to live that long if I'm going to start forgetting whole chunks of my existence. Like, I think it's normal for you to forget pieces and bits and days, unremarkable things that happen. But as far as moments in your life or generalities, no, I don't ever want to be at the point, either in real life or in the insane, I get to live until I'm 400, and where I'm like, well, but I don't remember when, anything between 1 and 224.
Who wants to live forever?
I want to live forever, but I want to remember the damn thing.
So are you saying you don't want to miss a thing?
I want to be the Highlander. Then I have an excuse to walk around with a sword.
Hey, Jonathan, what are we doing next week?
I don't know that.
You do know that.
You actually do know. This is the one we have an answer.
That's time we do. Yes, we are premiering our D&D and Drunks, and it's going to be fun. And also, we were drinking when we recorded it, so things happened.
It's okay. That happened in the first 60 years of Jonathan's life, so clearly he forgot about it. Oh, man.
But yes, definitely tune in. Maybe even we'll be watching Roadblock play some more Taken King while you listen to us play D&D.
So, our sound producer is Jonathan Onyx Cerna.
I am getting killed and things die. What is this?
Our announcer is the inimitable voice actor, Bob Ball. You can follow him at Twitter at BobBallVO. Our music is done by Linnea Boyev, our dear friend. And on behalf of Jonathan, Lauren, and the entire Glib Shark staff, this is Jack Edithil saying good night, good health, and sha-la-la-la.
I liked that one in that it was short.
Well, what will
also,
we do?
so are we essentially watching you play the commercial for this game right now? Because it looks like you're at that point.
Maybe. I think that the live action commercial is actually the raid, because that's not an echo of Oryx, that's Oryx himself.
Okay.
So,
well, we will let you get back to killing the big bad guy.
Sounds good. Well, I guess until they make a Bots Master video game, I'll be playing Destiny.
All right, and I'm going to upload